Okay.
You can see it.
All right. This is a 160 for voice for 10 minutes. I am plaintiff's attorney, Mr. Flam.
I am the witness.
I am the court.
I am defense attorney, Mr. Sherman.
All right, and it starts with margin of the court.
Do you wish to proceed?
Yes, may I, Your Honor? At this time, the government would recall to the stand Agent Walter Hekala.
For the record, government's exhibits 1, 2, and 3 have been marked for identification. Give us your true, correct name, please.
My name is Walter E. Hekala Jr. The spelling on the last name is Hekala.
Agent Hekala, I am going to ask the clerk at this time to place before the government's exhibits 1 and 2. Copies of these have been made available to the defense.
Exhibits 1 and 2 before the witness.
I believe exhibit 1 would have been a poster, or is that marked in another manner?
That is exhibit 3.
Pardon me. I meant exhibits then 2 and 3.
Exhibit 3 is before the witness now.
Agent Hekala, can you examine exhibit 3 and tell the court what it is?
This is a currency advisement poster of some kind that was posted at the security clearance area at Satellite 2 and also outside of the boarding gate of the gate which Mr. Barkemeyer boarded his flight to.
Your Honor, may I approach the witness so I can take a look at the poster?
Yes.
Thank you.
Agent Hekala, is that the exact same type of poster that is referred to in your declaration filed in opposition to the motion to suppress?
Yes, it is.
Now, government's exhibit 2, what is that, Agent Hekala?
It's a customs declaration.
You were testifying previously before this court as to a customs declaration form used by passengers entering the United States, typically at airport or boat terminals. Is that the type of declaration form you were referring to?
Yes, it is.
Now, is that form used at every point of entry into the United States, at every border?
I will object, Your Honor, as being no foundation to possibly answer the question.
Foundation, please.
Agent Hekala, how long have you been with the United States Customs Service?
Approximately 12 years.
During that period of time, have you been trained or have you received training in the actions of customs agents at borders?
Yes, I have.
Have you worked at various borders within the United States?
I have worked at Los Angeles Airport and then at the harbor facility here in Los Angeles.
Have you, in the course of your training, received training with respect to standard customs procedures at border entry points?
Yes, I have.
Has that training included both the border entry points that would be at a Los Angeles type airport as well as other type airports?
Yes, it is.
Has that border training been distinguished, such as it is one type of training for Los Angeles and another type of training for other board point entries?
It is basically the same type of training for all ports throughout the United States.
Now, with regard to that training, have you been instructed as to whether or not at every single point of entry, border point of entry in the United States, Government's Exhibit 2, the Customs Declaration Form, is presented to each entering person?
Your Honor, I think my objection is, how could he possibly know that at each instance it is given to every passenger unless he was physically there on each entrance?
This is with respect to certain instructions given to the witnesses and other customs officers. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor. His training and instruction as to the procedures to be followed.
Which may be apart from what in fact does happen? You may answer the question.
Would you repeat the question?
The question was, is that form based upon your training given to, or strike that, is that form to be given based upon your training to each and every person entering the United States at a point of entry, be it a port or airport or some facility?
No, it's not.
Could you give us examples of where it is not given?
Yes, I can.
Where would that be?
An example where it would not be given would be an individual driving across the border from Mexico to the port of San Ysidro. The individual would normally make an oral declaration only at that location.
What about entrants from Canada driving across the border?
The same thing would apply in most instances. An oral declaration only would be given. It would be an option of the examining customs officer to provide the form to the entering passenger, be it by a car or by a train or a bus, to have them complete the written declaration.
Are there different practices employed for passengers entering the United States by air from Canada than for passengers who enter the United States by air from other foreign points of entry?
It varies from some locations that they would clear customs. At some locations there are what is known as free clearance stations, which are outside the territorial United States in Canada. The U.S. Customs officers are at these locations in Canada and clear individuals entering the United States on a particular flight for customs purposes. On some of these pre-clearance flights, a customs written declaration is not always provided to them.
Thank you. I believe that's all, Your Honor.
Cross-examination, please.
Thank you. You have Exhibit 2 in front of you, do you not? That is the customs declaration form?
Yes, I do.
To your knowledge and based upon your training, that is a form that is given to every passenger who flies into the United States from a foreign country, isn't it?
No, that's not true.
When is it that form given and to whom?
It's a customs option whether the written form is required. As I explained, on certain pre-clearance flights, a verbal declaration only is given unless the examining customs officer asks the entering passenger to complete the written declaration.
Isn't it common practice that the customs declaration form is normally handed out by the airline to passengers flying into the United States from foreign countries?
Yes, the exception would be where they clear customs prior to boarding their flight in, for example, Canada.
All right, so if you haven't cleared the customs and the first time you will be in contact with United States Customs is when you actually land in the United States, a passenger is normally given a customs declaration form, Exhibit 2, is that correct?
Yes.
So either you get the form or you have already cleared customs. Is that your testimony?
That's correct.
In looking at paragraph, well, it may be about 3/4 of the way down after the place for. May I approach the witness?
Yes.
Let me ask you this question. Isn't it a fact that a form tells an incoming passenger that he and his hand baggage are subject to be searched?
Yes, it does.
Let me put a bracket at that paragraph. Have I marked it correctly?
Yes, you have.
Could you put your initials there? So each incoming passenger who receives a custom declaration form prior to entering the United States or going through customs is forewarned that he and his baggage are subject to being searched. Is that correct?
In those instances where he is given a written declaration, it is on the form, yes.
Is there any such form or any such notice to outbound passengers that he and his baggage may be searched upon leaving the United States?
Not that I'm aware of.
In looking at the poster, which is Exhibit 1, does the poster say anything to the effect that it is legal to transport money out of the United States in excess of $5,000? It doesn't contain that statement, does it?
No, it does not.
May I have just one moment, Your Honor?
Yes.
No other questions.
Mr. Flam?
I have just 2 questions I neglected to ask a moment ago, Your Honor. We carried this hearing on over a period of days, and I made a note to myself to ask the agent the following questions regarding the examination of his bag, which had been inquired into by Mr. Sherman at the last hearing. At any time while you were conducting the examination of his bag, as you testified, did Mr. Burkmeyer ask you to stop?
No, he did not.
At any time while you were conducting that examination, did Mr. Burkmeyer ask you not to remove anything from the bag?
No, he did not.
When you informed Mr. Burkmeyer that you intended to make a small cut in the bag for the reasons you previously testified, did he tell you not to do that?
No, he did not.
Did he ask you not to do it?
No, he did not.
And did he indicate to you in any way that he would not permit you to do it?
No, he did not.
When you removed articles from Mr. Burkmeyer's bag, did he in any way object?
No, he did not.
No further questions.
Agent, isn't it a fact that after you opened the bag and looked into it, you told him you were going to cut open the bag?
Yes, I did.
You didn't ask permission to do that, did you?
I told him. I said I was going to cut the bag, yes.
You did not ask him for permission to do that, did you?
No, I did not.
Thank you.
In your affidavit, my recollection is that about 11:15 a.m. that you made a public announcement regarding the currency reporting requirements. Is that correct?
Yes, that's correct, Your Honor.
And in that, what was the content of that announcement?
The content of the announcement included the statement that it was illegal to transport over $5,000 from the United States, but that a form was required to be filed with U.S. Customs.
You may step down. Thank you very much.
May I ask the witness one question just on this point?
Yes.
When you spoke with Mr. Barkmeyer at the time you stopped him, you did not tell him personally that, did you?
No, I did not.
Thank you.
Thank you. You may step down. Next witness, please.
Yes, the government calls Agent Paul Tundo.
State your name. Correct name, please.
My name is Paul M. Tundo,
Spell your last name.
Tundo.